Hey everybody, welcome back to The Loop, where our goal is to know Jesus a little better so that we can live like Him a little more. Yesterday, we took some time to deepen our understanding of how Jesus thinks. And what we saw is that Jesus doesn't just look at the world for the way that it is, He looks at the world for what it will one day be. And it's that perspective that affects the way He lives and the value that He places on all kinds of things in this world. As soon as Jesus finished that brief conversation in Mark chapter 13, verses 1 and 2, He goes to this mountaintop where He and a few of His disciples, they start to have this really lengthy conversation about the end of time. The disciples, like most of us, they wanted to know the answer to one question. When is it all going to happen? What are the signs of the end times? But Jesus doesn't really talk about when it will happen. Instead, He talks about what He expects of His disciples when it happens. I want to focus on two things that Jesus expects of us. One today and another one tomorrow. The first one that I want to cover today comes out of Mark chapter 13, verses 5 and 6. Jesus said to them, "Watch out that no one deceives you. Many will come in my name, claiming I am He, and they will deceive many." Now, if you jump over to verses 22 and 23, He adds a little bit more. There He said this, "For false messiahs and false prophets will appear and perform signs and wonders to deceive, if possible, even the elect. So be on your guard. I have told you everything ahead of time." In both of these passages, Jesus stresses that many people will be deceived in the end times, and He does not want that for you. Some people will be deceived by what they hear false prophets saying, and some people will be deceived by what they hear false prophets doing. Jesus actually says that these false prophets have the ability to perform signs and to perform wonders or miracles in an attempt to deceive people. So how do you avoid being deceived? You have to be extremely familiar with who Jesus is and what Jesus taught. In John chapter 10, verse 27, Jesus said, "My sheep listen to my voice. I know them and they follow me." So to avoid being deceived, you have to be able to recognize His voice and His teachings. John, one of Jesus' closest followers, gave Christians in the first century this kind of instruction. 1 John chapter 4, verse 1, he said this, "Beloved, do not believe every spirit, but test the spirits to see whether they are from God, because many false prophets have gone out into the world." So what we do as Christians is we test every spirit and we test every statement by comparing it to Jesus and the teachings that He has given us. If you don't know the truth, you'll never recognize a lie. If you don't know Christ, then you won't recognize someone who is posing as Christ or someone called the Antichrist. So Jesus ends by saying, "Be on your guard. I have told you everything ahead of time." So between now and then, between now and the end of time, we need to spend more time getting to know Jesus and everything that He taught, so that we will not be easily deceived and led astray.